What? Will? I can't hear you. Will, I can't hear you. What? What? Will? I can't hear you. Will, is this a villain monologue? Is this a villain monologue? I don't know what you're saying. Will, what are you doing? Will, are you the villain now?
Okay, I can't anymore. All right, so to prepare for, I guess, the much anticipated sequel, we're going to be reviewing the first Shazam movie, which also I think we should have done from the beginning.
We should have. We should have. We should have.
But honestly, I'm glad we're getting into it now to get ready
I
for the new
I will
one.
admit, I don't think a lot of people are really like getting super hyped for it. I mean, I am. I like the first one a lot.
So I guess before we should talk about this movie, we should probably talk about our knowledge of the Shazam character in general.
Yeah. He started out being named Captain Marvel, which created a whole lawsuit. Um, I have a couple comics with him. It's weird. Um, I was more of a Marvel fan to be honest, but I've grown to like both a lot over the years, both Marvel and DC. But I've read a fair amount of Batman and a lot of Superman,
hmm
and yeah, a lot of Wonder Woman. So I know the main ones. Something on
Yeah,
my shirts.
yeah. For any of
Anyways,
those who aren't familiar with the character of Shazam, it's basically this 14-year-old boy named Billy Batson, and he's able to turn into a super powerful human just by saying the word Shazam. And with this movie, from the when you saw the first trailer, um, it shows that okay. So let me try to recap or rewind
I'm
this.
sorry for yawning, Will. I'm. It is late for me. It's almost 10
It's late
o'clock
for
at
me
night.
as well. We'll try to make this as brief as possible. But so everybody knows the DCU for being super dark and gritty, and I guess this plus I guess also Wonder Woman too, that you can make something colorful and pretty fun
And
too.
Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
if you actually read the comics, they are very silly.
oh yeah,
You've got a character called Bat Cow.
which we're
I'm
hoping
not kidding about that.
makes a small appearance in the James Gunn version of the
Yeah,
DC.
I don't care if the James Gunn DCEU is like the worst thing. I just want Bat Cow.
Even if it's for a cameo appearance.
Yeah, I just want that. I want that Bat Cow in there.
So I will admit, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought it was going to be a little bit too goofy. But okay, so a
Yeah, I
little bit
did
of a
too
back,
a bit, but
so
I
a little
was
bit.
still open to
Sorry,
it.
go ahead. So a little bit of a
Uh,
backstory of. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was going to be a little campy, but I was still open to it. And it paid off. You've got a scene in here where they use the power very inappropriately, which I find hilarious. Like to go buy beer,
Yes.
which we did when we were underage. Remember that when you turned into the werewolf?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And that's where the name Alpha Omega Wolf Productions comes from. Now you know.
Now our origin story is complete.
Ta-da!
So I actually have a funny story about how I saw Shazam for the first time. So this was sometime after Avengers Endgame. We were all still in college, and a couple of my friends they quote kidnapped me to go see this movie. And yeah, I ended up having a very good time with it.
Yeah, I think I was on a date when I saw it.
Let's see. I do think that this movie. I feel like my biggest complaint about this movie is that there are times where it switches moods completely. Like there's one part where it's comedy and it's a superhero movie. The other times it's pretty scary because there are these seven deadly sin monsters, and even though they look fake as heck, the designs of them are pretty scary.
Yeah, and I don't mind like fake effects, like if it's kind of fakey,
Right.
in a superhero movie because it gives a sort of comic book vibe, at least from my experience.
Oh no, I
Sky is a
agree.
movie I like, and its effects are not perfect.
No, in fact, I wouldn't say there's any superhero movies that have any spectacular special effects. I'm sure there's a small handful,
Yeah.
but I think given the tone this movie has, I think it's pass.
Also, I will say I do think the darker stuff does warrant a PG-13 rating,
Oh yeah, 100%.
especially with this, and on top of the stuff they get in trouble for abusing the superhero powers with.
Yes, and we do get to know the character of Billy Batson as he's put
Even his
into,
foster siblings too.
and we get to his foster siblings. Like he doesn't like being there, and his foster siblings, they are all so incredibly charming.
Yeah, I'm Darla's my favorite, the little sister. She
Mhm.
has some of the best lines. That
Um,
kid, I hope that kid goes on to do some amazing stuff.
oh, I really hope so too. And maybe she'll get a lot of I hope she does really well in this the second movie coming up.
Oh yeah.
Now, I will say another thing I thought stood out was the villain they got, which is Dr. Thaddeus Savannah, played by Mark Strong, who played another DC villain, Sinestro.
I
In
would
the
say he
Joker.
was playing a villain. I mean, they didn't really tease Sinestro till the end of that movie.
Right, yeah. Okay, so, anyways, I thought he was pretty well done, personally.
Oh, and Mr. Mind, the mid-credit stinger with Mr. Mind.
Yes, they may save that for the sequel. Who knows? Or maybe they'll save it for a
I
third
want
one.
Mr. Mind.
I want Mr. Mind as well.
He's just so goofy. It's just if you don't know who Mr. Mind is, he's a villain from the comic who is just a caterpillar, a sentient caterpillar.
But he can talk.
Yes, sentient. Yeah,
Yes.
I think he's.
Um,
It looked like they were like modulating his voice. So I wonder if he uses like a voice box or something.
I think he does. Like it's sort of like his mind, sends a message out and it speaks to it out loud. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, yeah. Do you have anything else, Will? I can't think of anything else. I'm
No, I
tired.
thought
I'm
this
going to
was
bed.
I thought this was a very fun time. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check it out because yeah, this was really good. I'm looking forward to second one. I'm sure a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some people might be hyping this up. But I am, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that. All right, so we're tired. We're gonna make this quick. We'll keep you guys updated with what our next review will be. So until next time, we'll see you for the next review.